What's going on, NuCanoe Nation? Welcome back to the Unlimited Show. I'm your host, Brian Schiller. As always, bringing you one of our team members, one of our dealers, somebody that's part of the NuCanoe family, and getting their take on NuCanoe, how they're utilizing their boats, and tonight we got Bo Prock in the house. That's a tongue twister. But drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, what kind of boat you're floating out of, and all that good stuff. And as we go along, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll get them answered for you. I know I saw a comment drop in here. Chanda B is asking when her dealer will get your boats of your shipment of Unlimiteds. I know Blake Young, owner of NuCanoe, dropped a post last week stating that he's updated dealers and they should have an estimated shipping time. So contact your dealer. They should have that date available for you. Ryan O'Neill in the house. What's up, family? Anthony McNutt. I know he's down in Bo's area. Said, let's go, Bo. And Justin Staley said, really been putting time in on the Unlimited. Loving it so far. What's up, brother? Long time no talk. Hope you're doing well. I think we got a family member of Bo in here. Brady BP Prock. Brady's brother tuning in. Wants to hear all about what his brother's doing. Adam Cawley in the house. Awesome. Building it up. Do us a favor. Go down, smash that share button in the lower left-hand corner. Let's get some folks in here. As always, we're here every Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. I don't know what it is in Europe. You guys can figure it out and do the math. It's too much for me. Let's get our man of the hour in here, Mr. Bo Prock. Welcome, my friend. How you doing
What's
tonight?
up, guys?
Not much, man. Not much. You got an audience in here tonight, man. Everybody wants to hear from Bo.
Yeah.
You got a big fan club down there in Missouri, it seems like.
Well, I've got one brother and one friend, and they're both here. So we're at 100% of what I can pull for you.
So you're 2 for 2. I like it. Blaine Upton in the house. What's up, brother? But you're from Southwest Missouri, correct?
Yep. Little town called Purdy.
Right by my favorite lake, good old Table Rock.
Table Rock.
Dude, that's where I call my PB smallmouth. So like every year I try to make it down there. Like that's always my goal every season.
Yep.
So
it's a fantastic lake.
I love it. I'm jealous. Might have to set up a teepee in your backyard and camp out for a few months.
Oh, you just come on down. We just bought a farm right next to my favorite creek, so we can hit Table Rock and then we can hit the creek and make a weekend.
Even better. I like this deal. Very cool, man. Well, welcome to the show. As always, we start with asking our guest, how you got into fishing and how you got into a NuCanoe, man.
Yeah. So I'm starting fishing. I think it's probably most of your guests say. I mean, it was all about dad taking his son fishing whenever I was a kid, and started off really fishing Roaring River, which is just down here. You've probably drove past it to get to Table Rock Lake, and spent a lot of time chasing the trout down there, and then hit the lake whenever I was a little older and just kept going from there. But the NuCanoe, and I really... I just kind of happened on to NuCanoe. I really hadn't done any research or anything, but my father-in-law had just bought a Frontier 12, and he was decking it out with like this foot steering system, and it hooked a trolling motor on the back, and I was like, man, that's really cool. And so I went down to my local dealer, Ozark Mountain Trading Company in Garfield, and was looking around, and they had one 2017 model NuCanoe Frontier 12 and Army camo, and I bought it that day with, I don't know, probably as many accessories as the boat cost, and been hooked ever since, man.
That's usually how it goes, right? Get a kayak, save a little money on the boat you're looking at compared to what you got, and then next thing you know, you're walking out with that same amount of money in accessories, right?
Yeah. Well, and you can always, explain yourself, because I could have went and bought, like a $20,000 bass boat, and you explain it, this is so much cheaper, and then you get into the accessories.
Yeah, it's funny, man. You always get that comment with the guy that's skimming by you in a kayak while you're in a kayak and he's in a bass boat, and he's like, "Why don't you just get a bass boat?" And I'm like, "I don't have the gas bill you do, so good luck, buddy."
Yep.
It was the shop. I forget I know it's something Outfitters, right? What was your shop again?
Oh, my shop, it's Ozark Mountain Trading Company.
Oh, Ozark Mountain Trading Company.
Yep.
It's totally off. Yeah. They're right off the interstate there, right?
Well, so they've got one store up in Ozark, Missouri, up by Springfield, and that's right off of 65 Highway.
Okay.
The one that I mainly go to is down in Garfield, Arkansas.
Okay.
And it's right off one of the main highways going into Rogers.
I've driven past the one on 65 there.
Yep.
So I've seen the name. I know. Shout out to the Moyak guys. They do a tournament trail down there. That's one of their big sponsors of their trail and stuff. So I've seen the name. It's super cool.
Yep, they're good guys. They've helped me out a ton. Especially somebody that like me that doesn't fish a bunch of tournaments and stuff, and they gave me a shot to pro staff for them, and they take really, really good care of all of us. So great guys, Bruce and Larry. That's
awesome, dude. I mean, let's touch on that real quick, because I know a lot of guys and gals, don't forget the ladies,
that's right,
out there, they think that they have to be this, super high profile tournament angler in order to, do a pro staff spot or get some kind of sponsorship or something like that. And obviously, like you said, you're not a big tournament guy, but you do a lot of other cool things. I mean, so how did that all come about? And if you had like a suggestion for somebody out there wanting to do something, what would that be?
We've had a lot of discussions here lately, and I think we've shortened up pro staff, and I think it's really important to know what the pro stands for. And it's not professional, it's promotional.
What? You're not a pro?
Yeah.
This interview's over, bro. I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it's all about, Blake and Everett, really threw a bunch of emphasis this year on, we really want dealer support, and we want guys that are going to go out and, promote their local dealer and promote NuCanoe. And up until that point, I was really worried. I was like, guys, this is going to be a 1-year gig, because they're going to figure out that I don't fish tournaments all the time, and they're going to, say, go kick rocks. But, the dealer side of it is so much fun for me. We do pro days and demo days and stuff like that. And I've been in sales my whole life. So being able to go and promote, at these events is a lot of fun. And I really think at the end of the day, I know Ozark Mountain Trading Company, and I think, NuCanoe both, they're looking for promotion. They want to spread the good word and have people that are willing to answer questions and take people out for their first ride on a kayak and just be out there having fun with people, talking kayaks and fishing. I mean, that's the fun part.
Absolutely, man. And that's so huge, right? Because, a lot of times customers feel like it's almost like going to a car dealer or something, right? Where, they think that the guy trying to sell them a boat is just trying to sell them a boat. Whereas I think when you go to those demo days and things like that, and don't get me wrong, I work with a shop up here in Northern Illinois, and I've been in all the different boats that they offer, and I can give you pros and cons to each boat, and I think it helps to have somebody that's, has experience in, one model or 10 models, you know what I mean? To be able to answer those questions and really, get those answered for the customer that's looking to, drop a significant amount of money on a little plastic boat,
Mm-hmm. And the worst thing I think you can do in the industry and in the sport is put somebody in a boat that doesn't fit them and ruin them from there on out. I didn't start, in a Frontier 12. I wasn't willing to spend that kind of money, but after a little bit of experience and a little bit of time, and I realized I enjoyed it, then I was ready to make that little bigger commitment, and it fit great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What was your first boat?
Oh man, it was my actual very first kayak I had was a little red Walmart set-in kayak, and it about killed me 3 times, and I was like, okay, that's enough of that one. And then I had some little cheap set on top, and then I got the F12.
Yeah, one of my first boats was a little 10-foot sit inside, cheap plastic boat. I'm 6'4". Like at that time, I was probably like a good 240, 250. And people thought I was crazy, man, but it did the trick, got me out on the water, and then, just moved up from there. So,
and again, I think that's what's important. I mean, just getting people out on the water and get them interested and comfortable in the industry.
I like it. I like it, dude. Well, it looks like it's story time here with Bo Prock, because we got Brady Prock saying, ask Bo about the time at a demo day in Arkansas where we literally tried to flip a NuCanoe and couldn't tip it over with both of us on it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I know what he's talking about. So this was actually my first demo day with OMTC in the Garfield, Arkansas location. They do it over in, I think, Lake Ann over in Bella Vista.
Okay.
And of course, I mean, especially for bigger guys like us, right?
Sure.
If you're never on a kayak before, they're like, man, I always feel tippy when I get on one of these. I don't feel comfortable. And so the natural move whenever you're a salesman is to go, let's go check out the F12, because it's solid. It's solid. You can walk around on it, stand up, and you're fine. And the guy was a very large gentleman. He was probably 6'4", 6'5", and probably 275. And he was worried about it. And so we decided to see what we could do with the Frontier 12. And we set on the gunwale on the side, both of us. And I weigh about 200, 210, depending on whether I ate cheeseburgers for lunch. And my brother's about probably 170, 180. And so we set on the side of the Frontier 12 up on the gunwale and just floated around on this lake. And it was set up on its side, like way up out of the water, but it wouldn't flip with, almost 400 pounds on it. It would just kind of sit there and float around. And the guy ended up buying the Frontier 12. He said, man, if it can do that, then that's the boat I need. So yeah, it was really cool. And that's kind of been one of my go-to sales whenever we go to those deals, is find somebody to jump on the side of it with me and just float around.
Have you guys tried seeing how many guys you could get on it before it would flip or sink?
No, but that we've got demo days coming up, so stay tuned, and I'll have that information for you.
I want to know how many guys can fit in a Frontier 12.
Okay,
because I have a feeling it's going to be how many guys you could get in there before you actually get it to flip.
Yeah. And I think most of the time, I think you fall out before the Frontier 12 ever flips. Like, I mean, it's just so able to stay upright through whatever. It's really impressive.
I like it. You ever fallen out of a kayak before?
So I fell out of the Frontier 12, I think, twice.
Okay.
And one time was right after I bought it. And again, it was me and my brother tandeming it down some water that we probably shouldn't have been on.
Okay.
And ran the side of it up on a rock. And it stayed upright, but we did not. We went for a swim, lost all the gear, lost the beer. It was just a horrible situation. And then the other time I just got a little top heavy on it, and I basically jumped out and then got back in. But that's been about it. I mean, it's really hard to fall off of that thing.
I've only fallen out of a kayak once, and it was a flint, but I tried going down the Whitewater Park instead of walking down the long sidewalk to get around it
Yeah.
and into the river. And my balance wasn't that great, and I just kind of went after the
That's always
first
been
drop.
my problem. It's always my fault. It's
Oh, that was definitely my fault
yeah.
falling out. So that's for sure. But you're a multi-species fisherman, man. I know. For the episode post, we had a photo of you with a redfish. So
Yeah.
let's start with freshwater first. I mean, obviously, you got plenty of water down by you. Like, what's your favorite species to target down in Southwest Missouri, northern Arkansas?
No question, it's a smallmouth.
Okay, right on.
Absolutely. Yeah, hardest fighting fish out there. Either on rod and reel, fly. I mean, that's the best species to catch here for sure.
Yeah, and that's something too, man. You're a big fly fisherman as well. So how going into that part of it, how's the NuCanoe been with the clean open deck, and fly fishing?
And that was something I really hadn't even thought about because I never even realized that fly fishing out of a kayak was possible. I originally got the Frontier 12 because me and my father-in-law were going to do some crappie fishing and
Nice.
wanted to get back into waters that big boats couldn't get back into. And after, probably a year or so after owning it, we went on a little creek trip. And I said, well, I'm going to bring my fly rod with me and I'll bank fish, off and on. And we hit a nice big open stretch of water that was moving real slow. And I looked at this huge, open deck in front of me, and I said, man, there's no reason why I can't fly fish off this. And stood up and started fly fishing. And I mean, it's just fantastic. Like you said, it's wide open. There's nothing, for your line to get tangled up in while you're working and stripping. And it just really works really nice. And now I almost take my fly rod with me every time we go.
That's awesome. You guys got any trout down your way too?
Yeah. We've got mostly trout parks, but there's some blue ribbon streams around that we hit off and on. But mostly it's trout parks
Okay.
around here. We've got Roaring River and Bennett Springs, and all pretty close.
Very cool, man. Yeah, you can't forget the trout, man.
I do love trout. I mean, that's what I cut my teeth on. So I've always got a little soft spot for the trout.
I like it. Mostly rainbows down there, or you guys got browns too?
So you can go to like NuCanoe that we were talking about earlier, and
Yeah, they got a bunch of rainbows, right?
they've got a bunch of rainbows. But in the fall, you can catch the brown trout run, especially like fishing at night in like late October, and that's a blast.
Ooh. Why didn't I know about this?
Yeah, well, maybe you plan your trip more later in the year, and we'll do that too.
All right. October. Actually, I might be down that way in October. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
But you like fishing for the smallmouth, crappie we talked about. You going after some of those, what are they, shovel fish or something that run down that way, or what's
the spoonbill?
Spoonbill, that's what it is.
Big white nose.
Yeah.
So not on my Frontier 12.
Come on.
I'm not quite that brave yet. But we've done a couple spoonbill trips, and they're fantastic. We actually we went, me and my brother and one of his firefighter buddies from Springfield went on a trip a few weeks ago up to where were we at? Up at Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh yeah.
And had a really great guide. He did a fantastic job. And we all limited out in like a little over an hour. And I mean, spoonbill are huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they're massive fish, So then we had a big fish fry this weekend for Mother's Day and had a bunch of spoonbill. It was great.
I've never had a spoonbill before. What if you had to compare it to another fish? What's it kind of like?
Man, that's tough. So spoonbill meat, you have to soak it a lot.
Okay.
like I soak it in water, starting like 24 hours before we're going to cook it. And I change out the water every few hours, kind of like you would do deer meat, in the cooler, and keep that water going over it. And then usually like 4 or 5 hours before I actually cook it, we soak it in milk. After you do all that, it's a really, really clean tasting fish, but it's very firm.
Okay.
So I'm having trouble comparing it to something because it's a very, very firm meat. It's almost like chicken firm.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, it's great.
Chicken fish.
Yeah,
That's
chicken
new
fish.
name. And you get out to the saltwater too quite a bit, right?
So I've made one trip down to the salt water in the F12.
Okay.
We did that a couple years ago. And anybody, I mean, if you've ever considered going to like Louisiana chasing redfish and speckled trout, like do not pass that opportunity up. That is probably the single most fun fishing trip I've ever had. We went down to Cocodrie, Louisiana, which is basically as far south as you can drive in Louisiana without driving into the ocean. And we spent about a week down there. And it's such a cool environment, like compared to up where I'm at and even where you're at, to be out, in this swamp land, and then having to learn about tide water and when you should go in and when you should come out. There's so much to it, but the power behind saltwater fish, and we all fly fish, so that was an added kind of level of difficulty.
That's awesome.
They are just so furious. Saltwater fish are, like, you hook into a saltwater fish, and it makes all your fish back home kind of seem like they need to eat their Wheaties. They're just so strong. So you'd hook into one of those down there in a kayak, and it would take you for a ride. Like it would drag you around, and it was a blast. That was probably my favorite fishing trip I've ever been on.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I got a buddy in Texas, and I was supposed to go down there red fishing last April, but COVID hit, and that all got put on hold. But that whole knowing the tides in and out thing, like he's always trying to explain that stuff to me, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, if I come down there, I'm going with you. It's not like I'm going out by myself, so should be
That's
good.
A way easier deal to do. I know the first day, whenever we got down there, it was right after a large storm that came through.
Okay.
And like our hotel was partially underwater. It was on stilts, but like we had to wade through the water to go up the stairs to the hotel and stuff.
Oh, wow.
It was super windy and just kind of nasty out, but we were like, we just drove 12 hours, like we're going fishing. And we didn't check the tide chart. We didn't do what we should have that day. And that was the hardest paddling I've ever encountered. Going against tide and against wind all at the same time. It was tough. So yeah, you really need to either learn about tides or go with somebody that does know about tides, and you'll have a way better trip.
Or have a motor. Oh man, I can only imagine trying to paddle into that stuff. I've heard some stories before, man. It's I'm sure it's not fun at all.
Yeah.
So, well, I know last year, down in your area, you guys got quite a bit of rain. You were talking about having to walk through water to get to stairs and stuff. I know when I was down on Table Rock last spring, I was fishing in people's backyards and in the woods. It seemed like it was out of a movie or something. Like I felt like I was down south in the swamp.
Yeah, like starting around 2015, like our weather really, really changed, and we started getting like legit floods, like legit floods, to the point that I've been on our fire department for like 18 years or so now. And a few years ago, we actually started a swiftwater rescue team and had to go to class and boats class and all that stuff. And I wasn't there, but I mean, my guys on the fire department were out working basically all night last night because we had a big storm come through, and a bunch of people were trapped in their houses and got washed off the road, and they were out running all night last night.
Oh, Jesus.
And, 10, 15 years ago, I mean, had somebody, had we said we wanted to start a swiftwater team, they would have laughed at us and said, that's the most ridiculous thing we've ever heard. And, like, it's a legit deal here now. We have torrential floods.
That's crazy. So did the lake ever come down last year?
Man, water was pretty high all year last year. Like usually on, the creek that I live on now, you get into like July and you're having to portage a lot. And really last year, anytime we went, I mean, if you portaged, it was maybe once in the entire trip, and most trips you never even had to get out of the kayak if you didn't want to.
Wow. Wow.
And we're set for the same thing this year. Water's so high right now. I don't know that we'll fish for the next 2 or 3 weeks on any water.
Even the lakes?
The lakes will be fine, but I mean, the creeks and rivers are going to be full of strainers.
Just raging.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Oh, man. Well, I always ask this question to every guest. You got an F12 rigged up tandem. You can take one person, dead or alive, fishing for a day. Who's it going to be?
Oh, anybody like in history?
Anybody,
Oh,
dead or
wow.
alive. You get to fish with them for a day in a Frontier 12 rigged up tandem. Who's it going to be?
Oh, man. That's an excellent question, and I wish I would have been prepped on that before the show.
That's why I throw it out there, man. I always throw my curveball in there, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go with something. I'm going to go with Jim Carrey, the comedian and
All
actor.
right.
Yeah, I
I
think he would be a blast on the water.
I like it. That's a first. There you go. Jim Carrey,
There we go.
Bo Prock, going fishing in an F12. I dig it.
Hopefully he's watching and he'll make that happen.
I'll see what I can do. I'll call my friends in Hollywood. And,
somebody hashtag Jim Carrey below here.
I like it. We get a lot of dads or grandpas and things like that, man. So it's nice to hear something, a little change of pace there, man. That's super cool. If you could take one dream trip in your F12, you can go anywhere in the world fishing. Where are you going?
So this one I can do because we just talked about this a couple weeks ago. So I'm a huge fan of the show The Meat Eater on Netflix.
Yep.
And on one of his shows, going down to the Amazon, and like they boated up the Amazon and fished for like peacock bass and all those crazy fish that are in there. So hands down, like week-long trip on the Amazon.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's it.
What do they got? They got those is it Arapaima or something like
that?
Yeah,
Arapaima. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are wild looking fish.
That's the vampire fish, isn't it?
I don't remember. No, I don't think that is. I think that's that goofy one that's kind of got like the back tail is like in the shape of a triangle almost. It's got a weird looking head. The vampire fish is kind of small.
Yeah, it's a smaller fish, and its bottom teeth go up through its forehead. Yeah. They've got all kinds of cool fish down there.
All right. You're into the goofy stuff. I like it. I like it. That's some wild stuff right there. So you said primarily smallmouth. I got to ask, which PB Smalley?
I'm at 18 and 7.5.
That's it?
Yeah, that's my PB smallmouth right now.
I'm sending some pins, bro. Sending you some pins. And send you the juice. I got a 20 3/4 on Table Rock in a tournament. That was in 2019, I think it was.
Yeah.
Just skipping a jig through some rocks, but deep.
Yeah.
I'll send you some stats.
Yeah, send them to me.
There you go. Anything else, man, that you want to talk about? Get out there to the good folks tuning in at home. Any of that good stuff, man? Any shout outs, things like that?
Well, yeah, I'll have to do the shout outs because I just talked about how important it is to be a promotional staff member. So big shout out to OMTC, Ozark Mountain Trading Company. They've done me awesome in the 2.5 or so years that I've been with them. They've always got good advice, good tips. They're always giving me plenty of rain to try stuff if I want to try and do something. So huge shout out to Bruce and Larry. I mean, they're the big guys in it. I mean, they do so much. I feel like I need to say thanks to them.
Sure. Absolutely, man. And if you guys are in the market for a NuCanoe, they got some in stock right now?
Yeah. I was just down there, and they've got a few. I think we're out of unlimiteds right now, but we should be getting some more in. But they should be in, I think, before we start demo days. I think we're getting some in. So hopefully they get to see those, and maybe we can demo some of those on the water. So that'll be a big deal.
There you go. I like it. Get in touch with Bo. He'll get you set up.
You bet.
Go check out the demo days down there. Try out all kinds of good boats, and hopefully we get you guys in a NuCanoe. Also, go follow Brock on Instagram at Bo Prock Purdy. At Bo Prock Purdy. What's the Purdy about? Are you a Purdy boy?
That's my hometown, man.
Oh, Purdy.
That's where I'm at, Missouri, man.
I didn't even put two and two together. All right. All right. I like it. We are here every Tuesday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Mountain time. See, there you go. Covering all your time zones, folks. Check in with us next week on the docket. We have coming up Danny Uribe from California. That'll be a good one as well. Danny's fishing out there. We've already had Romel on from out in California as well. So Danny's a good dude. He's a big tournament fisherman. So tune in next week. Hear from Danny. Bo, my friend, thank you so much for joining us tonight, talking with us a little bit, letting the good folks know.
Thank you so much for having me on, man. It was a pleasure. Just can't say enough good about NuCanoe. It's just awesome, man.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. We appreciate you. We appreciate what you do for the brand, and thanks for coming on the show tonight. Everybody that tuned in, we will see you next week. Until next time, tight lines, smooth paddle. Preach.